Maggie, thank you. Sorry for the slight delay. 2 days of council meetings are not always an exact science, but apologies for asking you to hold on for a bit. Let me just get straight into it. We've just finished the World Athletics Indoor Championships here in Nanjing after 3 days of really, really good action. And it marks the start of a very busy and productive year for athletics. The championships are the start of what will be an exciting 3-year journey through Asia and World Athletics, with 5 World Athletics Series events taking place in the continent over the next 2.5 years. We have big ambitions in our sport here in Asia, which is rapidly growing in appeal, with new fans joining literally every day. You can read more about the championships on our website and have a look at our social media coverage, which we are pleased to say won top spot in Red Torch's Sport on Social International Federation's 2025 report. We've also just wrapped up 2 days of council meetings where a number of important decisions have been made, including the confirmation of a number of new host cities for our events in the next few years. Gaborone in Botswana as the host of our 2026 World Athletics Relays, the first time they will host a World Athletics Series event. Brasilia, Brazil as host of our World Racewalk Team Championships 2026. This is the 3rd time Brazil has hosted a WAS event. Nassau, the Bahamas, which will be for the 5th time our host to the World Relays in 2028. The selection of these host cities reaffirms our commitment to hosting events in Africa and, of course, our smaller nations. The Council also made important decisions regarding the integrity of the female category in competition, and has approved the recommendations of the working group on gender diverse athletes. Over the next few weeks, the new regulations will be drafted and a pre-clearance tests provider and process and timeline will be agreed. The Council also approved the recommendation of the working group on Belarus and Russian participation, that the current Council sanctions are adequate and do not need to be replaced, added to, or varied unless either the current circumstances deteriorate significantly or there is a peace agreement. In anticipation of peace at some stage, the Athletics Integrity Unit continues to maintain Russian and Belarusian athletes in its international testing pool. In coaching news, the Council also agreed to explore the creation of a dedicated coaching body reporting to Council to promote coaching. This is a vital component in the development of the elite athlete, and will provide, of course, a voice for coaches. A proposal on the format in terms of reference from the new body will be developed and brought back to Council as a matter of priority. And finally, a number of decisions were made relating to competitions, including the approval of the timeline for the World Athletics Cross Country Championships in Tallahassee in 2026, which takes place on the 10th of January next year. Related to the relays, the World Athletics Council has also approved the running order for the 4x100 meters mixed relay at the upcoming World Athletics Relays Guangzhou as woman, man, as well as forming part of the race program for the World Athletics Relays in Guangzhou. The mixed 4x100 will be contested in our inaugural World Athletics Ultimate Championships in Budapest in 2026. And finally, the 300-meter hurdles will become an official event. Now, there's more detail and further updates to be included in the press release, which will be circulated shortly. So I'm now, of course, really happy to take any questions or observations you might have. Thank you for being with us. Maggie, back to you.
Thank you, Seb. So we'll now open the floor to questions. The easiest way to do this would be to please use the hand-raising function in Zoom. So I'll give everyone a few seconds to log their questions. Wakako, let's start with you.
Thank you so much indeed. Seb, can you hear me?
I can, Wakako. Hello.
Hello, indeed. And hello, Maggie. And thank you for the opportunity. You were talking about this working group on Russia and Belarus situation and whether the situation deteriorates or whether peace would be reached. What are the base policy, way of thinking, how to change the current situation, which is individual participation, which would consider individual participation into the future, and what are the timeline that will be necessary for the World Athletics to consider that way participation before Tokyo World Championships. Also, if I may, just one, we, I guess Japanese are rather happy to have you as a World Athletics president for Tokyo competition. And how was it even possible for you to have more passion or focus onto what you cherish throughout the time after rather stressful experience back in Greece last week? Thank you.
Wakaku, thank you. Look, I think the answer to your first question is, if I may say so, a fairly simple one. And that is the timeline. The criticality of that timeline is not within our hands. That will be the progress or otherwise of the peace talks that have already started. And clearly, as I said a few moments ago, there would need to be a peace agreement agreed on both sides. And then we would be in a position to review that. But as I've already also made the point, that the Athletic Integrity Unit maintains a very tight control over the testing regimes of both Russian and Belarusian athletes. So in the event that we get to an agreement, we wouldn't have to then start going back into our testing protocols to be confident that those athletes that might be eligible to compete will have fulfilled will have been through the right testing process. And the second answer is actually very easy. I've never ever lost focus on anything to do with a sport that's given me everything. Just a few weekends ago, I was at the European Indoor Championships in Apeldoorn in Holland. And the first thing that I did, literally, after the session in Greece was to get onto a plane to come here to chair the council meetings today, the executive board tomorrow, and to be there for the World Indoor Athletics Championships. So no, it's nice to be back in the athletics family.
Indeed. Nice to have you back. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Wakako. Rob Moll.
Hi, Seb.
Rob, how are you?
Yeah, very good, thank you. Last year you gave $50,000 to each of the track and field champions. I understand you're going to be doing the same for LA, but expanding that to silver and bronze. Are you still committed to doing that? And what's the figures in mind for LA in 3 years' time, please?
Well, no, of course I'm committed to that. That's something that I've always believed, that where possible, you made the financial security of the athletes one of your priorities. Interestingly, over the next, forget LA for the moment, but over the next 4 years, there will be over $51 million available to athletes in prize money in our events over that 4-year cycle. So yeah, we absolutely maintain our commitment to that. I think you can assume it's not going to be less than 50,000 for the winner. But of course, there's nothing new. This is a policy that we agreed and was passed by council. But in LA, we will extend it to silver and bronze medalists. So the overall, the numbers we're still looking at, but I think you can assume it won't be less than 50.
Thanks, Seb. Rob Harris.
Hi, Seb. I hope all is well.
Hey, Rob.
Hi. So on the gender verification, what are the pre-clearance tests, and will they apply to every athlete trying to compete in women's athletics?
Look, the pre-clearance testing will be for athletes to be able to compete in the female category. The process is very straightforward, frankly, very clear, and it's an important one. And we need to look. We will look for a testing provider. We will work on the timelines, and the test will only need to be done once in literally the career life of an athlete. So we are very clear, and that was agreed today in council.
So are these swab tests?
Well, yeah, the swab test. I mean, we've had the working group and our medical teams have been looking at that. But look, that is largely the two determinants here are firstly finding the right provider, because we are a global sport. So you do need to provide a provider with the capacity, the scale and capacity to be able to do that. And cheek swab or the dry blood test. But yeah, it'll be it's along the lines of something that will be administered once in the career of an athlete, of female athlete.
Exactly. Why do you think it's so important to do it? And also, are the DSD parameters changing as well?
It's important to do it because it maintains everything that we've been talking about, and particularly recently, about not just talking about the integrity of female women's sport, but actually guaranteeing it. And this, we feel, is a really important way of providing confidence and maintaining that absolute focus on the integrity of competition.
I'm sorry, I just say, finally, are you prepared for any resistance about some criticism if it's too intrusive?
No, neither of these are invasive. They are necessary, and they will be done to absolutely international medical standards.
Thanks, Rob. Jamie Gardner, PA.
Just following up on Rob's questions there on the pre-clearance testing, is World Athletics confident that these tests and the policy that you've adopted will stand up to legal challenge? And what feedback did World Athletics get from athletes as part of the consultation on this?
Well, if I deal with the second part of your question straight away, I mean, we've had over 70 individual groups that responded from this, various stakeholders, obviously all the advocacy groups, athletics federations, athletes commissions, individual athletes, CIS, DSD, transgender coaches. I mean, this has been a widely held and pretty exhaustive review, and overwhelmingly the view has come back that this is absolutely the way to go, within the caveats that Rob just raised and I answered just a few moments ago. Sorry, the first element of your question, remind me.
Yeah, just whether you're confident that the rules will stand up to legal challenge and scrutiny.
Well, yes, I am, but you accept the fact that that is the world we live in. I wouldn't have set off down this path in 2016, 2017 to protect the female category in sport if I'd been sort of, anything other than prepared to take, the challenge head on. We've been to the Court of Arbitration on our DSD regulations. They've been upheld, and they've again been upheld after appeal. So we will doggedly protect the female category, and we'll do whatever is necessary to do it, and we're not just talking about it.
Thank you, Seb. That does it for the questions for now. Any other questions? No? Last chance? Okay. I guess not. So as Seb mentioned a little bit earlier in his comments, we will be circulating a press release shortly, which will go into a little bit more detail than we did just now. So thank you everyone for joining us. Again, apologies for the slight delay.